What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ziggy Doom, man. Back at it. I want to welcome y'all back to my podcast. This has been probably the longest gap between my podcasts because I'm starting to realize that the YouTube algorithms definitely change based on whatever is relevant or popping or trending. And now, whether I like it or not, I have to accept that YouTube Shorts are pretty much the way to go. They seem to be what's trending. YouTube has caught on to what TikTok is doing and even Facebook with Instagram. So they kind of leaning towards the YouTube Shorts. So that is something I have to explore doing if I want my channel to continue growing organically. I have to be able to expand what I put out there, not necessarily water down the content that I put out there, but I have to conform to the algorithm if I do want my channel to grow. And that's why I've been doing a lot of more shorts in between my podcasts. Now, when I do my podcast, I try to talk about something that's relevant or current and keep that fresh. That way that when you guys listen to it, it's something that you can relate to or that you are aware of and, think about it, give your opinion, whatever. And I just lately haven't been having any real good topics to talk about because, real life happens, right? I actually live and work in two separate states. So, and I have my children. And you guys know that's that's a lot. It's pretty keeps me pretty busy, for lack of better words. So I can't really post as much as I would like. And luckily, YouTube isn't my, main source of income. I don't, some of these channels, YouTube is their main source of income. So they have to put in more time, and they actually can put more time and effort into the things they put out. And they have to literally live by that algorithm because it affects how they're able to sustain life. So they have to conform to that YouTube algorithm more than I do. For me, it's more so about putting out content that not necessarily gets the most views and likes, but it's something that you can think about, and it's something that's sincere and genuine to me. Like I said, I would rather put out something that's important to me and what I believe in and get 3 views versus putting out what's trending or what's edgy or controversial and get all these likes. I don't want my channel to be that way because I value authenticity over shock and awe and attention or whatever. Now, with that being said, I have been putting up some YouTube shorts, and my last 2 have been relatively interesting. First of all, my channel is public, right? There's all of my content is public on social media. I don't have any private things or whatever because I don't have anything to hide. I don't have to worry about any rebuttals or any criticisms, and people are entitled to their opinion. And I know that with that comes, the internet, and the internet can be a pretty inappropriate and rude and vile place, but it's also a place where you can learn things and you can share things and get some insight. So I kind of take the good with the bad with my channel, but that doesn't necessarily mean the people that I interact with or that I know in real life are that comfortable too. So if I have something going on with someone in real life and it may, show up on one of my channels or whatever, then I'm okay with it, but maybe that person isn't. So I have to be mindful of them and respect their privacy or concerns or whatever. But at the same time, I don't have any filters because there's no shady things about what I say and what I do. If I say it, I do it, and that's the end of it. With that being said, I want to get into my YouTube short I made regarding relationships. No, I'm not in a relationship, but that doesn't mean I can't give insight or opinions about relationships based on my experiences or an experience of a close friend of mine or relative or whatever. So there was a comment on my relationship short, and I got a couple texts and a couple calls regarding that comment, and let me be clear. The person that made that comment, I do know them in real life. I've known them for a while in real life. But my posts don't pertain to a specific individual unless that individual is aware of it. right? I don't do any side shots or pot shots or sneak this or anything like that. I'm pretty direct. Now, you may see my post and think that I'm talking directly to you, but that's kind of sort of the point, right? It gets you thinking about something you may have said or done in your lifetime and be intrigued by it. But it's not necessarily one person or one situation. It's just a thought, and these thoughts come to me randomly based on what I've heard or what I've seen, or sometimes, yes, what I'm going through. But that doesn't mean I'm taking a direct shot at one individual. If I ever do that, I let that individual know, like, yes, I'm talking about you. I get inspiration from a lot of people, though. Some of my music, I've made songs, Mrs. Past, The Womanizer, Dear Children. I've made songs, even diss songs, regarding individuals, but not one particular person. Yes, I can get inspiration from one person or many people and put it all together. But if it's ever directed at one person or pertaining to one person or one event, then I will say that, because I don't like confusion. I don't like people pondering and wondering, what does he mean? I try to be as direct as possible. So that comment that was made on my page had to have been based on that person's experience. And a lot of people will look at comments and try to, put two and two together and come up with their own conclusion. That's fine. But what I will tell those people is this: I am a 100% single man. I haven't been in a relationship in years. I don't even think I've been around a woman longer than 3 days consecutively in over like a decade. So I'm super single. That's how single I am, right? And last time I checked, don't nobody pay any of my bills, right? I don't have anything co-signed with anybody or nothing. So if I have certain relationships with certain people, that's perfectly fine. But what I will not do is lie or mislead or sell a dream or make a promise to somebody when I know that I'm not going to be able to deliver. I pretty much tell people up front what's going to happen if they deal with me in any capacity. Like, you're going to get this. You can either take it or leave it. But what you will not say is I'm leading on or I'm giving false signals or giving false. I don't do that. I'm a single man. I focus on my children, my brand, my job, and my health. And pretty much everything else kind of comes after that. So that's for regards to that comment. Yes, I know that person in real life. I've known them for years, and that's how they felt about my video short at the time. So let's try not to dissect things and turn apples into oranges, because I promise you, with me, you're going to be wasting your time. Now, with that being said, I want to segue into my other short that I made after that one, and it's a short about Walmart. You guys can watch it. I just posted it. It's kind of controversial, but I don't really think controversial. But one thing about me, I'm very protective of my children. Too protective, like overprotective, to a fault. And one of my son made a comment on on that video, and there was a person that made a comment underneath his. He deleted it, but my son screenshotted it and sent it to me. That was racist. I mean, it was clearly racist. And I did a little research, and I found that guy's channel, and I listened to his videos, and it makes sense that the comment that person made, why they made it. Now, here's my take. The internet, I tell my kids this, right? If you're going to be on the internet, Discord, even like Roblox, you're more than likely going to run into somebody that's rude, inappropriate, and racist. That's just the way of the world, unfortunately. My thing is this: if you're going to be racist, then stand on it. As a man, if you're going to be racist online, stand on that. Put a face to the comment that you make. Because if you're not going to stand on it, then in my opinion, you just being a coward. So if you're going to be racist, stand on it. Be able to say that same comment or same thing online in person. And if you can't do that, if you have to delete your comments, then you're not going to get any praise or props for that. Now, this guy's channel, he got about 75 subscribers, so whatever. But I did check his channel out, and I heard some of his content, and yes, I can see why that person made that comment, because it just seems like that might be what he's tailored to. But comments that it's open to the public. Anyone can make a comment. So I'll get good comments, I'll get controversial comments, and I'll get totally inappropriate comments. But that's what comes along with doing things like this, putting yourself out there on the internet. And once again, I'm comfortable with it because I'm the type of person, I don't care what people say or think, and you can't insult me or criticize me more than I do myself. So you're entitled to your opinion and it won't offend me or affect me. But when it comes to my children, and I'm pretty sure that guy didn't know that was my son, yes, I'm going to feel some kind of way about it. I'm not going to take it any further than that. I'm not finna go all crazy or whatever and do extra stuff because it's just not that serious. There are racist people in the world. I get it. A lot of them tend to hide behind certain things, and those are the cowards to me. Because if you can't stand on it, if you can't walk out and say I'm racist, I'll respect you more saying that than you posting something about it than deleting your comment. That's just me, right? Last thing I want to talk about. So my son got a letter from his school, and it was asking his parents, his mother and I, if we were okay with him going to a class in school that teaches about relationships. First, I thought it was kind of like a joke or something. Like, are they serious? Is this like some kind of survey or something? But this was an actual thing. They wanted to know if we were okay with letting our child attend a class that talks about relationships, not family relationships, not brother-sister relationships, but girlfriend, boyfriend, or boyfriend, girlfriend, however it goes, relationships. My son is 13 years old. First of all, he's 13 years old. He don't need to be learning about relationships in school, okay? I send my son to school to learn about math, English, science, the general things that he can apply to life to where he can get a job or a career. I do not send my son to school to learn about relationships. Now it seems like the schools are trying to take away everything from the parent. If I got to send my child to school to learn about relationships, what am I teaching them? What am I showing them? And once again, some people may have been okay with their children doing that, but there has to be a line, right? And for me, it's religion and relationships. I don't think religion should be in school. I don't think kids should have religion forced on them because that's not what school is for. They have churches and religious establishments for that. So I don't agree with that one as well. If I want my kid to be religious, hey, I send them to church. I don't think nobody sends their kid to church and the church is teaching them math and algebra and galaxies and stars. So why are we doing that in the schools? So I don't agree with that one. And I definitely, relationships, that's a bit much, man, right? They got sex education, which I think at a certain age, maybe learn sex education, but it just seems like there's some kind of agenda for them to want to know. And I, props to them for asking and not just doing it. I'll give them, but the fact that someone on this planet thinks that, hey, you know what? Let's teach children about relationships in school. Someone thought that and they actually enforcing it. That's kind of scary, man. Because this culture, the way things are now, there's a lot of relationship things that even confuse me. I just be lost, and I'm glad I haven't had to come across certain types of people who identify a certain way. Because while I will respect your decision and choice, I cannot guarantee you I can completely support it. So like if I walk up to a person that has a full mustache, beard, and a deep voice, and I say, thank you, sir, and they say, hey, I identify as a woman, okay, fair enough. But I can't promise you I'm going to be able to, next time I see you, say thank you, ma'am. It's just one of these things. I had a friend out of town whose daughter's friend was I think identified as a woman. And, out of respect for them, I tried to address them as a woman, but my instinct and what I'm used to prevented me from doing that. So I ended up calling them he and him a lot of times. And you know, it wasn't out of disrespect. I'm not used to that stuff. So I don't shun it. You know, identify as whatever you want, but do not try to force those kind of things on my children in school. Do not try to normalize that with my children. If you want to normalize it with you, that's fine. But when we put things into school, religion, or these pronouns, we're normalizing it. It's almost like an indoctrination because kids learn through school. So if it's normalized in school to address these things as that, then, and maybe someone thinks that should be normal, that should be the way things will be accepted. But I think there's a time and place for everything. And I'd send my children to school to learn math, English, science, history, relationships. That's something I want to teach my children. I think coming to me and getting my advice on it, or their mother and getting her advice on it, is what should happen. That should be the normal course of things. I do not want my son coming home and explaining to me what he learned about relationships and then challenging me on how I see and address them. Because what you're taking that away from me when you do that. And that just blew my mind. I had to ask like 3 or 4 times, like, are you serious? Is this really a thing? Like, and I guess it is. So for me, it was a big no. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. And I mean, no surprise, his mother agreed with me. We grew up the same. We grew up in Chicago. You know, we went to the public schools, so we have a lot in common. So I'm not surprised that she was like, absolutely not. Now, some of my children's mothers, I do not know what they would say or what they would think, but fortunately, my son's mother, she agreed with me, and we nipped that one in the bud immediately. You know, no harm, no foul. Once again, the school, the fact that they gave an option for it, I applaud them for that. But yeah, it's a big no for me. You know, my son want to know about relationships or anything sexual or any of those things, he can come to me and his mother, and we'll tell him about it. And I don't know, maybe this isn't nationwide, but in Texas, that's exactly what happened. Blew my mind, man. And the way things are, the way relationships are now, I definitely don't want my son to learn about them in school the way the school teaches them, because I may not agree with that. So let me handle that with my son, and you guys do the math and the science and the English, you know. But that'll do it for this podcast, y'all. I got a new setup, man. I'm trying to get my sound together. The other side of my house is getting some work done to it, so I had to put everything over here. And we gonna keep it moving, man. My channel is growing, and I have to expand, like I say, what I do. So these shorts aren't going anywhere. YouTube has completely embraced the shorts, and the algorithm definitely shows that. So I'm at the mercy of it. So you guys are going to be seeing some YouTube shorts from me, but it's not going to be anything that goes against my values and my beliefs. And you guys pretty much know where I stand on that. It's nothing outrageous. I'm not going to be doing pranks and any silly stuff like that just for views and likes, because that's not me. But I do have to, I have to get with the shorts, man. You know, even taking away from my TikTok channel, because I put my shorts on my TikTok channel, and I have to take away from that to put on YouTube just to keep up with the algorithm, because that's what you live and die by with YouTube. You know, I was thinking about going to Nebula, but Nebula is a paid service, and I'm just not ready to ask my subscribers to pay for anything on my behalf. I don't feel that comfortable yet with my subscribers. I appreciate you guys, the ones that listen to me, ones that follow literally every video, but I'm just not comfortable with asking you guys to give money on my behalf. And I don't think I ever will be, honestly, because what I speak, I think is free. And if you guys feel, you know, however you feel about it, that's fine. But I'm always try and give it to you free. Now, I can't promise if my brand gets astronomically big, you know, might be a Patreon button here or there, you know, or a members exclusive, or, you know, a merch store. But speaking of merch store, I'm trying to get my daughters to draw some designs for me and put them on some hoodies, because they can draw. They got some talent, and I don't even know where they get it from, because I can't even write my name on a straight line. But shout out to Malaysia for helping me with this rig. She came and helped me set it up. But we doing things, man. We keeping the content fresh for you guys. Like, I always appreciate y'all. And I thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for liking, sharing, subscribing, leaving comments, all that good stuff, man. It just shows me that somebody out there in the world actually cares about me doing this. And I it means a lot to me. So that'll be all for this podcast, you guys. Until the next video. Peace.